Moving on now to Ukraine and the wild changes that could be coming in the near future after reports that Russian President Vladimir Putin could be stepping down at some point in the not-so-distant future. For more on this, let's welcome in retired Air Force Brigadier General, Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt. General Holt, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
So I want to get your take on this. So the reports kind of started over the weekend. Newsmax had a lengthy write-up on this. Russian President Vladimir Putin will retire later this year. Putin would likely endorse a potential successor before retiring to his palatial estate near the Black Sea. Again, apparently he's going to do this because things aren't going well in Ukraine. He doesn't want to see a coup where he's thrown out of power. What are you hearing, General? Do you buy this?
I do buy that he's looking for a personal off-ramp for himself. Let's remember the rules of thugs and tough guys and totalitarian dictators. You had better pick your successor, and you had better pick someone who you think will protect your interests and allow you to live a retirement life. Otherwise, you could find yourself retiring in a much more meaningful way. So he's probably got some ideas about who those people would be. We hear quite a lot about Patrushev's son, who's the Minister of Agriculture, but it's going to be very surprising if he gets to pick his own successor, because right now the inner circle is in tatters. There's a lot of disarray and disagreement, and there are a lot of rivals who used to be friends who are looking at that seat as well.
All right, and take it for what it's worth. The Daily Mail, who was one of many reporting this, they said that Putin would try to negotiate an end to the war in Ukraine before formally stepping down. Again, it's the Daily Mail. I'll tell you what, though, they've been right a lot of the time. Let's go through some of the names here. So these are the loyalists that could be next in line to take over as leader in Russia. The mayor of Moscow, who apparently is really close with Putin, Sergei Sobyanin. Prime Minister Mikhail Mishkin, who you and I have talked about, and Putin's own Deputy Chief of Staff, Dmitry Kuzak. Is this a situation where any of these are better options for U.S.-Russian relations, or are these all worse than Vladimir Putin, the old devil you know versus the devil you don't?
Yeah, so our intel community will have better profiles on these folks, but even with the intel workups that the CIA does on these types of people, you're never really going to know, Rob, until they're actually in the seat, because in Russian politics, you have to keep your own counsel. You can't really be out there espousing what you espouse. You have to keep it all to yourself. So we do know that if we got a Prigozhin, who's the Wagner Group chief, or if we got Patrushev Sr., we'd probably be in worse shape than we would be with Putin. But the likely person to take the seat, not even his own inner circle is going to know where they're going to come down on things. There probably is going to be an opportunity in all cases to end the war with whoever we get, because they're going to be inheriting a Russian economy that's in tatters, an isolated country that is left out of the world community, and there'll be very great incentives for a new leader to try to wrap this up.
Yeah, in a war that has been a disaster for Russia and has been going on now for 11 months. We'll mark 1 year of this war late next month. What do you make of the timing? When do you think, if this does happen, and I feel like we've talked about this so many times, but we know Putin's up for re-election, if you want to call it a re-election, in 2024.
Yeah.
Would this happen closer to 2024, or you would expect this to happen, now as Russia tries to negotiate an end to this war?
I think we're in the sunset of the Putin career and era. I think that probably within the next 6 months, this is going to be resolved of some sort. There's a lot to be determined on that battlefield that'll probably push this one way or the other. I'm very concerned yet that with the appointment of Valery Gerasimov, that general coming down to Ukraine himself to run the war, that means he's going to have special authorities for much more lethality and weaponry. And so there's a lot more to come in the days ahead.
Yeah, and again, the names maybe not important right now. We'll learn more about these people if this does become serious. But the big headline, Vladimir Putin could be stepping down, which would be huge, huge news. General Holt, thanks so much for breaking that down for us. We appreciate it as always.
Great. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too, General.
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. Your retirement funds are being threatened with even more losses from record inflation, recession, and skyrocketing interest rates. Fortunately, the highly trained specialists at American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. If you call them right now as a special offer, they will give you a free gold coin on your first qualifying order, so don't wait. Call 866-935 866-935-4309. That's 866-935-4309, or text Newsmax to 65532. That's Newsmax to 65532.